guys, so today I'm here to do a top 5 Tuesday, and today's theme is going to be my top 5 favourite books of 2019 so far. I've read a total of 41 books so far in the year, and it's a bit hard to narrow that down to 5, but I've done it, and I'm excited to talk about some of my faves of the year. So number 5 was my most recent read, and I knew I had to put it on this list, but because it was such a recent one, it's number 5, but that is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Oh my god, I loved this book. Like, I wish I read it sooner, but I guess when I do end up reading these books, it's always the right time for it because I finally read them. But I just loved Monty and Percy and Felicity, and I loved how crazy this story got. Like, so many things happened in this book and just none of it is what I expected, but it was just such a fun whirlwind adventure as they're traveling just around the continent and just getting into more and more trouble, and like the magical elements that were kind of weaved into this. But it was funny, it was great, and I just loved having some historical fiction in my life, and I just really enjoyed this. Number 4 on my list is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I had so much fun with this book, and I actually audiobooked it, so definitely recommend trying it on audiobook if you haven't read this one. I just liked the murder mystery vibe from it, and it's always fun just having a book where you suspect everyone of being a bad person. You don't know who to trust or who to rely on. So Stevie, the main character, she is really into mysteries. She goes to this school called Ellingham Academy. It is renowned for a kidnapping case that happened 80 years ago where the owner, Albert Ellingham's wife and daughter, were kidnapped, and his wife was killed and his daughter was never found. And Stevie, even though it's been 80 years since this case happened, she wants to solve this murder even though it was never solved, and the only clue that they had was a letter that was written about the killing and the murder from Truly Devious. So Stevie is very much under the impression that she's going to be able to solve this case, but when murders start happening in the present time, it gets a bit interesting. It takes place 80 years ago where we get snippets from the characters from back then, but it also takes place in the present with Stevie, so we've got 2 alternate timelines happening, and it was just such an interesting story and I enjoyed it so much. Number 3 on my list is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I didn't realize how amazing this book was. People were recommending it to me, but I was still kind of like, oh, I don't know how to feel. I don't really read adult contemporary novels, but then I read this and it was like, oh my god. I just love the story of Evelyn Hugo's life and about how much happens to her, and like how she has 7 husbands and has a child and has a big romance. She's also such a cutthroat person that it's so funny that we root for her so much, even though she does so many horrible things in her career. But it's just such a great story. And I also kind of feel like Monique kind of gets like a forefront in this book. Like, she is a main character of it, and she is the one that is writing down Evelyn Hugo's story, and her and Hugo's life does really intertwine as you get more and more into the book. But it's such a great one, and if you haven't read it yet, because pretty much everyone in the world has, you need to. Number 2 on my list is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Cremera. Oh my god. Like, this is like a book of my soul. I loved this so much. I love Beauty and the Beast, but I feel like this story really took it so far because Harper is our main character and she has cerebral palsy, and that never stops her. And she gets swept up into the world of Emberfall, and she doesn't really know what to think, doesn't really know what to feel. And she's got these 2 guys there, one being Ren, who is the prince and the beast, and one being Gray, who is his guard, and she like doesn't want anything to do with them and just wants to get away. But then she gets so involved in the world, but she's actually such a smart, independent and strong person that she starts helping, and then she starts having relationships with these people and relationships with the people in the kingdom and the surrounding villages, and she just does so many boss things. And I love Harper so much, and I also love the relationship with Harper and Ren, because like obviously we know the Beauty and the Beast retelling story, they're always going to end up together, but the way that they did, it's so good. And there's still a lot more that needs to be said about their relationship, so I'm so excited for book 2 to find out where this is going to go. And number 1 on my list shouldn't come as a shock, but it is For Dare to Queens by Astrid Schulte. I loved this and it blew me away, and I really didn't expect it to like hit me so much, but as I kept reading it, I got so invested with the lives of the queens. Like, the queens are my favorite part of this book. With it, I expected them all to go pretty early on, but no, all 4 queens narrate chapters, and we learn about them, and we learn about their histories and their secrets and their lives and how they know each other and how they interact with each other. And then we've got Caroline, and she's suddenly swept up in the murder plot and she doesn't really know what to think, and she's trying to save them, and just there's so many elements going on. And because this is a standalone, it's such a fast-paced one, and for me, I read it relatively quickly and I just could not get enough of it. And a part of me wants more, but a part of me also loves how it ended, and I just can't wait to see what else this author's gonna write. So these are my favorite books so far this year, and I mean, like, there has been some pretty good good reads. It was hard to narrow this down. I'm guessing all of these books will be in my top 15 list at the end of the year. The order of that will depend entirely on what else I read for the rest of the year. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!